Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Above the Noise, Pier 21 Realty's listing boot camp. This is our first live listing boot camp we're doing with a couple of our new agents and a student of ours who is getting licensed at this time. My name's Philip Simonetta. I'm the broker owner of Pier 21 Realty and the Florida Real Estate School by Pier 21 Realty. And in the intro there, you also saw the pizzeria business. I'm also involved in a bunch of nightclubs and restaurants as well. But my passion and the heart of my business is my real estate brokerage in school and the 10 agents who work with me. Our brokerage is licensed in Florida, North Carolina, and Tennessee. And I'm in the process of adding New Jersey and Pennsylvania to that, which will be shortly done within the next few months. But I just wanted to say hello and introduce you guys to four of our agents and soon to be three of our agents and one of our soon to be agents that work with us. And let me start off with Alicia, who has the most seniority here. Alicia, introduce yourself quick and say hello to everybody, and we're going to get started.
Hi, my name's Alicia Nieves. I was licensed back in September, and I've been working with Phil since then. It's been a great process. I actually left my full-time job back in February and just mainly trying to focus on that, the real estate moving forward.
Yep. And Atanya?
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Atanya Walker, newly licensed in January of this year. Been with Pier 21 Realty just a few months and excited to keep growing.
Awesome. Looking forward to you guys really getting your roots in and getting the foundation. That's what this listing boot camp is going to do. It's really going to start you connecting with people, not only socially when you're dealing with people, but also, when we're working with calling people and expire listings and things like that. And, one of the things is you'll see nowadays all these people online telling you, oh, you don't have to call people, or, oh, run this ad or run this funnel or run this thing. It's all smoke. Like I'm telling you, I'd say 80% of my business is calling and contacting people. And I've been doing this all my life, right? Top 5%. And the bottom line is, in today's world, people need communication. And you'll see when you talk to people in the beginning, they're very reluctant. They're very reluctant to deal with you. And it's because there's such a misconception of doing business out there. Everybody wants something fast, quick, easy. Run an ad on Facebook. You think people are going to call you. It doesn't work like that. I close hundreds of deals a year. People don't come running on my door and say, hey, sell my house. It doesn't happen. Okay. I have to reach out to people. I got to connect with them properly. I got to position properly so they know who I am and what I do. And I got to inspire them to want to work with me. Right. And then once they're inspired to work with me, I have to deliver those results. If you don't deliver results, there's no point in even calling them. Right. If you don't have results to bring to the table and you just talk, which is about 95% of Florida, everybody talks, but nobody brings results. The results are the key. Right. So, and I'll use an example. I'm working right now. I got 4 deals closing by the end of the month and 2 already ready to go for next month. Okay. You guys know, like the stats, NAR stats, 75% of agents, 74% of agents closed 0 deals last year. I'm doing more in the next 2-3 weeks than most. Right. And it all comes down to communication and results. When people talk to me, they know there's a result coming, and it might take longer now. It might not be as easy. Right. There's going to be more challenges. Deals are falling apart, but you got to find the right buyers. And the key to this is, the last 10, 15 years, anybody could have sold real estate. A monkey could have listed a property and sold it because you put it on the market and 15 people came to see it, right? It worked that way. You put it on the MLS, boom, everybody came. It's not like that anymore. The influx into Florida is down almost 78%. The people moving to Florida year over year is down 78%. And that's the lowest it's ever been in history. That's what we got right now. But yet, I'm still closing 6 deals in 6 weeks. Why? Because you position yourself properly. People still need to sell. People still need to buy. And they're the people you need to be in front of. Okay? You don't need to be doing these online trainings, $5.95 or $99, or it doesn't work. It's all a bunch of crap. And somebody gets 5,000 people to give them $99, they just made $500,000, right? And that's what they're about. Okay? They're about that kind of stuff. When you're about results and delivering for people, those results and relationships, that's the key to being successful in real estate. That's how I got where I am. That's how I built all my businesses. Everything came from real estate. Real estate is like the heart of everything I do. And then I reinvested that money into restaurants and bars and different things. And I took that money and made more money. But real estate is the key. Real estate is the heart of everything, because number one, everybody needs somewhere to live, right? If it's rent, buy, whatever. So everybody needs somewhere to live. Number two, everybody needs something to eat, right? And number three, everybody needs some kind of entertainment. Even during the Great Depression, they had to have entertainment. That's how people stayed sane. So if you could stay in those three areas where they live, they need something to eat, they need entertainment. That's the keys to success, right? Give people what they need, right? So that's a little bit of a rant, I guess, on like what's going on in the industry, right? And all the stuff that I see out there is so frustrating, because you got these people, selling people products and trying to tell them, oh yeah, do this, but they can't do it themselves. Somebody tries to tell you, hey, I'll teach you this or pay me for this. Find out how many deals they closed. Find out who they worked for. Find out what thing they're trying to sell. There was one chick that I saw talking about all this high energy and all this stuff. She's a trainer at a big brokerage. She never sold real estate, but yet she's telling people how to sell real estate. Like, how do you do that? They're teaching because they can't do it. It's crazy. It's really crazy. And what happens is, all these real estate agents fail. 84% of agents fail every couple of years. And what happens is these people out there are selling these programs, making their money. And by the time those people quit, there's new people to get. And all they're doing is regurgitating bullshit, smoke and mirrors. Me, I'm trying to bring results to people. A career in real estate where you can make a living. I mean, you can do a deal or two a month and you can make yourself $250,000 to $500,000 a year, depending on the deals. You really can. And I mean, how do I know that? I'm doing a lot more than that. That's why the systems I'm going to teach you guys is the same systems I use, the way I created my talking points and the things I do. And when I show you guys this, and if you just apply it the way I apply it, it works. It has to, because it works for me. Right now, my approach to people is going to be different than your approach to people. Right? My tone is different, my tonality, but you got to find your tonality. Right? Because some people like dealing with me. Some people like dealing with Alicia. Some people like dealing with Tanya. Some people won't like dealing with Alicia. Some people won't like me, but it's okay. I don't need everybody. I just need 1 or 2 deals a month, right? Or 4 or 5 a week, or whatever I'm doing, right? The key is you got to find your people and work with them. And that's it. You don't need every deal, right? 6,000 deals closed in the last month, right? All you need is 2 or 3 of them. That'll change your life. That'll change your income. That'll change everything, right? So let me go next. I want to go to Kevin next. Kevin, I want you to introduce yourself. You just got your license, right?
Yeah.
How did you come across us, and tell a little bit about how you how you got here where we are right now?
That's funny. So the way I found you guys was because I took the test straight after the class. Like, I did the class in person, the 63-hour course. And then I took the test right away and I didn't pass. So then after that, I'm just scrolling through YouTube, searching, trying to find something. And then I came across your cram course. And then I was watching it. I watched the first one, retook it, and then I failed again. Funny. But then third time's a charm.
Yeah.
I watched the second part and then I passed. And then after that, I seen a live stream of you where you're actually live taking cold calls. And then that kind of intrigued me because I do something similar on a day-to-day basis. I'm doing telemarketing sales. So yeah. And then I just set up the consultation and here I am.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. You already have this, like, you're already working the cold market to sell things. So you're going to see it's when you're talking to people about real estate, they're a little bit reluctant, right? Because they're getting 50 calls from people who are saying the same things because they're reading scripts from all these people that are teaching them off the same things. Mm-hmm. The minute you break that ice with them, and we're going to talk about that in our training. Okay. We're going to talk about how that works. They're going to open up to you and they're going to latch on because they're going to see, what you're doing, how you know what you're doing, and you're going to show them why, you're a logical choice for them to deal with, because there's a lot of frustration. They're dealing with a lot of stuff. Right. Mm-hmm. And that's something that your people are going to learn, right? And you're going to see that. The hardest part is making those initial calls, getting into communication with people. But you're doing that on a daily basis already on a different level.
And
So you're going to see, yeah, go ahead.
I also see like, because I also seen like other real estate agents cold call and stuff, like just on YouTube, like the popular videos and stuff. But what you do is very different because you're actually sending them reports. And I have yet to see an agent send a report. They kind of just do very minimal stuff. They kind of
they're reading the same scripts everybody else does. Hey, when are you going to hire the right agent? Hey, can I ask you a question? When are you going to?
Are you interviewing? Are you interviewing for the job? They all say that.
Yeah.
They all say that.
It's because it's the same scripts. It all came from Mike Ferry, and then 55 people changed 3 words, and that's what it is.
They drop a YouTube video.
Yeah. And then they're on YouTube. They're on YouTube trying to make money there because they can't make it anywhere else. 74% make no money. You know, the first thing you do is when you're working with somebody, how many deals have you closed? How many deals? Like, if you're going to buy my house, how many deals have you closed?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So, and that's what I asked. Now, when somebody, you're brand new, right? You're brand new. You haven't closed a deal yet. But when your answer is, listen, my broker and partner, Philip Simonetta, he owns a real estate school and real estate brokerage. We're in North Carolina, Florida, and Tennessee. We're getting licensed in New Jersey and Pennsylvania. We build, we buy, we sell. Sometimes we burn houses down. Who cares? Right? I'm joking. I say that to people though sometimes. So I tell them, like, look, you know, and this is your communication with them. They're not going to ask you, and they're not going to give you a hard time, because once you get through the talking points with them, it's like you've done this business for 20 years, right? It's like you've been in this business 20 years because of the way I structure the conversation. They won't know you're new. They're not going to have a chance to ask you that question by the way we approach them. And then you're going to send them that report, and then we're going to get them on a Zoom call, and then I'm going to close the deal with you through our apprenticeship, right? Yeah, and I'm going to explain that in a couple of minutes.
They won't really know me until we get on the Zoom call.
Right. Listen, if I call somebody up out of the blue and I say my name's Kevin, and you call them up and say your name's Phil, are you going to know the difference?
No, I'm Phil.
I could call somebody up and tell them, hey, I'm Kevin, and I'll close that deal in 30 seconds. You're going to call and say you're Phil, and you're going to stumble through and not get it done. They're going to think you're Phil, and they're going to think I'm Kevin. Right?
Yep.
It's all perception. It's all conversation. Now, here's the thing. Remember, I talked to you about delivering results. That's the most important thing, results. See, the conversation you're going to have with them, the positioning you're going to do, right? The inspiring you're going to do for them to want to deal with you, it's going to get them to the Zoom call. And then guess what? I'm going to be on the Zoom call with you, and I'm going to close it.
Yeah. Until
you're ready to close it yourself. And how are you going to learn? You're going to watch me close it. Right? Now, that's the easy part. You know, I'm going to say it's easy, but the easy part is convincing the person and showing them our results. You show them the school, you show them the brokerage, and I'm going to do that in a minute. I'm going to give a little presentation real quick to everybody here of who we are, what we do, and you know, what the next steps would be, and just give an idea. Because what we're going to do, this listing boot camp, as I said before, it's going to be 8 sessions, and tonight is the introduction session. What it is, how it operates, who we are, what we're doing, and then the next session is going to be about connecting with people. And then the following session is going to be about positioning properly, positioning as an expert, positioning as who we are and why we're the logical choice to work with. And then after that, you have to inspire them, right? You have to give them hope and show them there's a way to get things done. Every client I talk to, every client I get is coming from a failed transaction. They either canceled with an agent or expired. They're coming from failure multiple times sometimes. Maybe they had 2 agents that don't know what they're doing, right? Now, that national statistic where 74% of agents closed no deals, that doesn't mean they didn't screw up deals, right? That means they're out there working with buyers. They just didn't get anything closed. They're out there listing property. They just didn't get anything closed, right? It's not that they're not working. It's not that they're not spending money or wasting their time. They're doing the 3 Ps. They're putting a sign in the yard, right? They're putting in the MLS, and they're praying to God that somebody comes and buys it. See, nobody's coming to buy it anymore because 80% of the people aren't coming to Florida. You know, they stop coming in, and 60% of the foreign money is gone. They're not even investing here right now because of inflation, because of everything that's going on, because of the cost, because of the taxes, because of the assessments, because of the insurance that tripled. There's a lot of things going on right now. And the thing is, there's still people that want to be here. There's still people that need to be here. And they're the people we want to do deals with. Even in 2008, 9, and 10, 7, when there were no deals, there were still 2,000 deals a month closing. Somebody got those deals, right? Why not you? Why not me? Somebody's getting them. Somebody's hustling it. And that's what I'm going to show you guys. I run this business, or I run this brokerage like a business. 90% of brokerages don't. They hire agents, they throw them out there, they let them do whatever they're doing. And if they need help, they're there. Why? Because those brokers are making money off the fees to the agent. They don't care if they close deals. They're closing their own deals. But if the agents, they don't care if the agent closes a deal or not. They're getting their few $100 a bucks or a few $100 a month. And let's say they have 50 agents. If they get $300, that's what? That's $15,000 off the agents for doing nothing, right? A lot of these companies do that, and they don't give you services like we do, right? I give you the land voice, I give you the Cardone University, I give you all the trainings, I get the trainings from my programs, I give you the trainings from the programs that I've had in the past, right? All of that, right? And everything you get in that package is the same thing I use to make my business work. So you guys literally, when you wake up in the morning and you have access to everything, you have the same things I have. There's nothing different. And I'm teaching you how to communicate with people, and then you get them, bring them into a Zoom call, and then I take you from there to closing with them. And we both work the deals together until you're sufficient to go on your own. It's a true apprenticeship, right? Like if you're getting into plumbing, you're an apprentice to a plumber. They go in, they teach you how to do everything. You got to do the groundwork, right? And it's just like the movie The Karate Kid. Has everybody seen like the original Karate Kid, like the original movie with Mr. Miyagi and that thing? I mean,
Yeah.
Some of you guys are young. I don't know if you all seen the original.
Yeah, I remember it.
Yes.
Well, when a Karate Kid goes to Mr. Miyagi, and he wants to learn karate, and the guy tells him, "Okay, I'll teach you karate." He makes him sand the floor. He makes him wash the cars. He makes him paint a fence. And the kid's like thinking, "Man, the guy's having me do all his dirty work. He's not teaching me karate, right? He's not teaching him nothing." Well, he finally blows up on him, and he's like, "I don't want to do this anymore." And then he tells him, "Well, show me paint the fence." And he starts punching at him, and he's blocking him. And then he shows me sand the floor, and then he starts blocking his kicks because he's doing those motions. See, that's how real estate is. You got to learn. There's 23 steps to a deal. You got to learn step 1, 2, 3, 4. There's no point to learn 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, all the way to 23 if you can't do 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? It builds on each other. Real estate is a simple business. It's not easy. Right? It's not easy. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. There's a lot of them on TikTok dancing around. There's a lot of them on Instagram dancing around, but they're not doing any deals. Look them up. You can look them up. I'll give you an example. Let me show you really quick when you look them up. I pulled some screenshots of things for me. Now, you understand, right? I own the brokerage. I own the school, right? I am in multiple states. These are my Zillow numbers. Now, Zillow only has 2 of my MLSs for some reason in Florida. My Jacksonville MLS has another 30, 40 deals up here, but it's not showing. I have it called into Zillow right now. But if you look at my Beaches MLS, these are all the properties I sold down there. My Stellar MLS, these are all the ones I sold in here, right? All the ones over here. So right now it's showing about 63 sales. Okay. These are my 63 sales this year. Now there's another 30 or 40 up here. This also doesn't count anything I built or anything I've done that's not on the market. It doesn't count North Carolina and Tennessee, but 63 deals, 74% did 0. Look up how many deals agents do. Like I think 74% did 0. Another 20% did under 5. Wow. Right? So there's the numbers, dude. Numbers don't lie. People do. There's the numbers. Look. Right? And that's not even accurate. That's not even accurate because it's not showing any of my deals up here, which I'm closing 6 in the next week, and they're not here, plus all my other ones. So I mean, there's at least another 30 or 40 deals that aren't even here. So this gives you an example. Now, I do my YouTube stuff. I teach classes. I got the pizza business. I have a bar and a restaurant, and I'm still doing this. Right? So numbers don't lie. People do. Right? My current listings are here. So these here are all my current listings. It shows you the current listing address, if it's a seller or a buyer, right? So there's a few buyers I'm working with here. The price range, what the assumed commission would be if everything sells at these prices, right? So I have $3-4 million in listings there, another $300,000-400,000 in income there, just sitting there until they close, and everything's right here, So numbers don't lie, people do, right? That's something I live by. This doesn't lie. These numbers are numbers. These are reality. These numbers here, they don't lie. They only lie because they're not showing all the numbers, right? They're not showing accurate. So I have an email into them. You can't call them. So, I mean, it's just what it is. And another thing is outside of that, I just had another person, like person like yourself, like Kevin, like you, that went online and, you saw me and saw what I do. There's a young lady here. I don't even know who she is. She's down in Sunny Isles. And, here's the message she put on my video. This is the cram course. This is part 1 that you were talking about, Kevin. See it there? So she put a message here. It says, I passed the state exam on my first try. You were truly the best teacher. You explained everything so clearly and in such an easy to understand way. After every lesson in my real estate school, I don't even know what school she went to. She went to a school. I would come home and watch your videos, and suddenly everything made much more sense. I also went through your cram course and practiced tons of tests I found online. And I passed the state exam on my first try, which is huge. Thank you. Only I think about 48% pass on their first time. It's under 50%. So she said, thank you. Thank you so much for all the effort you put into helping students like me. Your passion for teaching really shines through in the videos. You make learning feel possible even when it gets overwhelming. She said, I'm so grateful for everything you've shared. You truly made a difference in my journey. Now, I don't know who she is. I'll probably never know who she is. But being able to do that just from videos that I put up and people see that, that makes it worth it, right? That is the reason I do what I do, because I'm able to, help people get where they're going, right? And that comes with the connection with people. And we're going to talk a lot about that when we get to the connection part of the process of listing. See, listing is a sales process. Real estate is a sales business, right? It's a sales process. It's a sales business, just like you're selling a car, just like you're selling shoes, just like you're selling anything. It comes down to sales, and people have to understand you can get that sale done, and you got to connect with them. What do people do? Who do you deal with? People you like, right? People you have things in common with, people that can deliver a result that you need, right? That's who I want to deal with, right? So let me have Frank. I want you to introduce yourself, and then we're going to continue on.
Sure. Hey guys, my name is Frank Macedo. I'm a physician, I'm a cardiologist, and the reason I'm doing this is for a couple of reasons. First, I'm tired of being scammed. Actually, a lot of bad actors in the industry, which is really sad. And second, I own some rental properties already, and if I want to continue to do this, I want to learn the right way. So I came across Phil during one of his YouTube interviews, and I got hooked up. Primarily, because I think the honesty, it's something that I was looking for before enrolling. Not so much about the knowledge, because knowledge you can acquire, you can buy books, but in the industry that's saturated and full of bad actors, I think that's what I was looking for. So I came across, saying, I'm going to give this guy a chance. And I think we had a great first call. And, I just said, okay, that's it. I found the school. I found what I have to do. And now I'm doing it. And I'm halfway through the course, the 63-hour course. Hopefully I'll get the test done by next month and get my license.
And we're going to be ready to go, man. We're going to make deals happen. And
sure,
not only, third party for the public, but like for us, right? Find deals. There's so much going on right now. There's so much opportunity coming. I mean, Frank, I have a short sale right now. I had a property listed. The property appraised 9 months ago at $393. I had it sold at $360 as an assumable mortgage at under 5%. Well, the seller didn't tell us that they had outstanding payments on top of the balance, and the seller didn't have the money to come to closing with. So the deal blew up. Like it just wasn't accurate. So instead of letting the deal go and die, I told the seller, listen, even though the seller didn't give us all the information, I said, you didn't have to do this. Like if you would have told me, we could have done a short sale from the beginning. And I explained it to her. And then after the fact, it blew up. I contacted the bank and I asked them if they could do a short sale, approve one. Takes 30 days. I got the short sale approved a couple of days ago. The bank did an appraisal, came in at 340. So the house lost $53,000 in 9 months. The bank will probably take 300, 320. So this is a 5-bedroom house, 9 years old, meticulous. You can eat off the floor. You can see it. It's on my listings on my Facebook page. You can see it. So we're doing showings on Tuesday. I already have 2 offers coming in, and people don't even see the property because they see what it is. I don't know what they are yet. And then what happens is the short sale offers, it's already approved. The short sale is approved. Once an offer comes in, I get the offer signed. I get the offer signed by buyer and seller, and I submit it to the bank, and the bank will either approve it and take it or counter it. So somebody can come in and offer 275, 300. The bank say, no, we'll give you 310. So they got a house that was 395 9 months ago for 310. Right? It's a brand new house. It's in a cul-de-sac. This one going out towards like towards Green Cove Springs, going out that way. It's called Adams Lake is the development. So that deal there, any other agent probably wouldn't have even got it done the first time because she had 2 agents before that couldn't sell it. They didn't even advertise the assumed mortgage. So I got it done, sold it, fell apart. Now I got the short sale approved. I'm getting 2 offers before we did our first showing. They're coming in now. I talked to the people today. And the bank's paying me and the bank's paying the buyer broker because she don't have the money. The bank's going to take less money and pay me more than she was going to pay me, which is crazy, right? But that's the way the industry works. It's communication. That lady thought she was going to let her house go into foreclosure because of the situation. Many people don't know you can do a short sale. So when people are out there, and I'll give you an example. Let's say somebody wants to sell their house and I look up on the listing and I see, hey, listing's canceled. You guys can go back and see my live videos here. I call them up and I say, hey, Kevin, obviously we haven't met yet. My name's Phil. Reason I'm calling you is really important. You got a second?
Yeah.
Yeah, great. Like I said, my name's Phil. Listen, I own a real estate brokerage and a real estate school license here in Florida. We teach the courses when people want to get their real estate license. We also teach the courses when agents want to become brokers, which is a 73-hour course. And I also teach all the continuing education and all the post-education for people who are licensed agents for the Florida Real Estate Commission and certify them. Okay, the reason I'm calling you, I know you're probably getting a lot of calls and you're super frustrated, but I promise you this call's not like anything else. And you'll thank me after I have it with you, okay? I saw your house came off the market. And listen, I get it. You're getting a lot of calls and just hear me out, okay? The reason I'm calling is I saw it come off the market and I don't understand why it didn't sell. I never seen it go on the market. So can you tell me what's going on with your property, man?
Yeah, we're getting divorced and we're trying to sell it, and it's just nothing's been happening, no offers or anything.
Yeah, man. I'm sorry to hear you're going through that, dude. I've been through that. It's crazy. It's really tough. I get it, man. Life up and down, goes back and forth. Listen, I'm sure you're probably busy, and like I said, I know you're getting a lot of calls. But what I'd like to do, no cost, no obligation. I'd love to run a report. I understand you're saying nothing's happening, and the market right now. A lot of people stop moving to Florida. There's a lot going on. Rates are up, costs are up, insurance is up, and one of the things I'd like to do is it doesn't take any time, doesn't cost you any money, maybe some time, about 20 minutes, half hour, but I can run a report for you. It's about 50 to 60 pages. I'll send you the report. It gives you everything you need to know about the property. Since it's been on the MLS or established, it gives you all the comps, everything that's on the market, everything that's sold, everything that came off the market and didn't sell, like your situation. And you get a good picture for everything that's happening in your local market. And then what I could do is we can jump on a Zoom call. It takes 20 minutes. I'll actually go over the report with you from A to Z. Again, no obligation, right? This is me just offering you my services. And at that point, I can go over the report. I can show you my school, my brokerage, all of our history. We're top 5% in brokerages. I'm licensed in Florida, North Carolina, and Tennessee. And the reason I'm sharing this with you is because I know I can sell this house. I wouldn't be calling you and explaining this to you if I didn't think I could. Because if I don't sell it, I don't make any money. I'm not here to list property. I'm here to sell it. Okay, so yeah, that's it. I'm not here to list property. I sell it, right? Yeah. So listing property costs me money. So I don't want to be like these agents dancing around with TikTok and pink shoes talking about listing houses. I do deals. We're closing 6 deals in the next 2 weeks. Most agents will close any deals all year. I have the brokerage here in Jacksonville. We're all throughout Florida. I have 10 agents throughout the state of Florida. And I'm also, like I said, in North Carolina, Tennessee. I build houses and do many other things. So what I like to do is, can I have your email quick and I'll send you the report?
Yeah, for sure.
Yep, boom, send you the report. Okay, great.
Question.
Now I'm going to set up the appointment with you, just like you set up the appointment. Boom, 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 right? And then that's it. So I'm going to run the report. I'll shoot you an email after the call. I'll also send you a text so you have all my info. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, boom. Get them on Zoom. I close the deal.
What do you say if they ask how much do you charge?
Yeah, absolutely. All of our commissions are negotiable. And when I go over everything with you, you have different options. We have 3 different fees that we can charge depending on the services you want.
Simple. Okay. That's simple.
See that?
Yeah.
Well, this guy's going to offer me 1%. Okay, that's fine. You can go to Walmart and get a purse, or you can get a Gucci. Like I said, I go to but what you do is you talk to people. Look, the cheapest isn't always the best, right?
Clearly,
so
it's
if somebody's going to charge you 2%, I'm just using a number because you can't have a fixed, right? Because of price fixing, things like that. If somebody's going to charge you 2% and they're going to get you $300,000 for the house, or somebody's going to charge you 4% and they're going to get you $375,000 for the house, who you want to deal with?
Easy, $375.
Right, and you want to know how. And what I mean by that is, when we list a property, we list in 140 countries, 18 different languages. Okay, on 2/3 of our deals, we bring the buyer. So when we bring the buyer, we act as a transaction broker. We handle the whole transaction. You know what's great about that? When we do that, I reduce the commission by 1% because I'm handling the whole transaction. So you pay less. I have less headaches because I'm not dealing with some agent that doesn't know what they're doing. So I don't mind doing the extra paperwork. I'll charge you less money, and that's the goal. My goal is to get more people to look at your house through me, bring the buyer, close the whole deal. 2 things. I make a little more money. You save a little money. It's a win for everybody. Right?
That's interesting. Yeah, that's good.
It's about business, bro. It's not about being a realtor, or dancing around on like realtors don't know anything. They just know how to pitch people, put them on the market, and pray.
Pray.
Right? Okay, they know how to pray. But the point of the matter is, you got to be in business. You got to know how to make deals. Right? It's about making deals, and it's about helping people succeed to get where they're going. You see, just that little bit of a role play there. You see how, I connect with you. I position properly who I am, what I do, how I do it. Right? I inspire you. Right? Give you a little bit of inspiration. Hey, this really can get done. And then I already start. Let's jump on Zoom. I already gave you with this report more than most agents can even understand.
Yeah, it's like
that conversation. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
No, listen, I'm here to do business. I'm here to have a relationship with people. I'm here to become friends with them and build a business. I'm not here just to sell a house and say, hey, I'll see you next time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, it's not how you do business. And that's what most of these agents do. They get their money and they run, right? That's why 8 out of 10 people don't go back to the same agents, right? I have clients I work with. I'm selling 3, 4, 5 houses for them, investment properties, different things, because I build relationships and I care about them. It's not just a deal. It's not just about making money. You go to extra mile, right? I'm give you an example. I'm working all day today. I'm driving to New Smyrna Beach, taking pictures. I'm running around. I'm doing stuff for the pizza business. I get back here. I'm on the phone. Where am I at 8 o'clock? Here teaching you guys, right? So it's not like, you know what I mean? I hustle and I make business. Do I have to do this? No, I could have retired 5 years ago and off to work. But I do this because this is what I want to do. This is my life. This is how I build business. Because, tomorrow I'm gonna be a little better than I was today. The day after, I'm gonna be a little better than I was today. That day, I try to expand and build relationships with people and build better things. You can only do so much for people and teaching them. They got to eventually do it. But the thing is, I just got to be consistent in what I do. And that's the same thing with you guys. You just got to be consistent in the system. You work the system, you're going to get results. It's like 1 + 1 = 2. You talk to people, you talk to enough people, you're going to get results, right? You just got to communicate. The hardest part is communicating, getting out there, letting people know who you are, taking that first step. And And Kevin, you could probably relate to this because you're making calls to people, you're selling things to people,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of rejection, right? I mean, what's the rejection rate that you deal with? A lot, probably, right?
Extremely. Like our percentages are like a good conversion percentage is like 7%, 8%.
Yeah. So
So
seven out of 100 that you get. That's crazy.
I take
right?
a bunch of calls,
70 out of 1,000.
like 500, and if I get 20 out of that 500, that's like great, you know.
Yeah. Alicia, Tanya, you guys seen me on the call Saturdays. What's my percentage?
It's pretty high.
Yeah.
Pretty high.
I've seen you. As
if
long as I've
to
known
them,
you, Phil, just being in the background when you're like talking, when you were teaching us like in person, when I first took the test too, because I also failed 3 times and I passed on the 3rd time.
Hey.
So yeah, so it really just never giving up and keeping going. And I feel like the hardest part of, you know, being in this industry is just showing up for yourself. That's one thing that I do struggle with, and I will admit that we're all human at the end of the day. You just really have to show up for yourself and really want it.
And what you have to know
results.
too is the people you're talking to are human too. And that's what people forget. They're scared. They're panicked. They don't know what to do. They got to sell a house. Everybody you talk to is a liar. Right.
True.
Like, you know how you feel like if you need to go buy a car and you got to deal with these people and they're all liars, scumbags, and they're charging you fees and all this crap. Right. Even when I go to the doctor, I went my health insurance. I went to a doctor, to a chiropractor, and the chiropractor I went to charged me like X amount of dollars. I was supposed to pay a $5 copay. And then they said my insurance wouldn't cover certain things and they wanted me to pay for visits. Right. So I called an insurance company and the insurance company, I don't know what you're talking about. It's $5 copay, blah, 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 blah. So I go back to the doctor and they, oh yeah, we had to fill these papers out. 2 weeks, nothing. So I went to another doctor. I walked in, $5 copay. Every day, every time I go to a chiropractor. I go once a week. $5. The other people were trying to get money out of me, and I could tell they didn't want to use the insurance. I guess maybe the insurance didn't pay them enough, you know. But I just reported them to the insurance company. I'm okay with it. I sent the receipts. I sent everything.
Yeah,
the insurance company is going to reimburse me. I hope they get shut down. I hope they lose the right to use the insurance. I don't care what happens to them, but I report them to the DBPR, right, for their physicians, like for the license for their office, which they don't understand that I work with Florida Real Estate Commission. I do licensing, like I do stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't care. Let them get fined. Let them, whatever happens, because they tried to rob me. Like they tried to rob me, literally. Who else are they doing that to if they don't like their insurance? I mean, I pay $600 a month for insurance. You know, like I pay enough for insurance. I want to use it, you know. But that's crazy. I mean, I've never seen anything like it in my life, you know. But that's the world today. So when you're talking to people, if you're just honest with them, straightforward with them, tell them the truth and show them a solution and deliver that solution, they latch onto you like you're their best friend. Because people today are so fake and they just throw shit at you. You know, they just whatever, and they expect you to take it, eat it. You know, and I don't do that. Like I only deal with people who are of the same quality. I just don't deal with them. Like I don't, you know, and I have clients, I have people that want to work with me. I tell them no. If they're not my kind of people, I don't work with them. It's my choice, right? If they're a shyster or they're trying to cut corners or they're not my kind of people. I don't do business with people like that. I don't have to, first of all, right? So when you're starting out in the business, you want anything. You want any deal you can get, but not every deal is a good deal. You know, not every deal is a good deal. And you know, the whole point of listing, right? Listing property. Having the listings is the most important part of the real estate business. Now, other people will tell you, no, it's buyers. Like Todd Sachs, he thinks buyers are more important. The problem is, I mean, they're equally important, but if the seller has a house to sell and the buyer's looking for a house and you don't know where the house is, who do you think's more right now client, right? You can take a buyer and you can go drive around, show them 10 houses. They don't like them. You can go show them 5 more and then 5 more and then 6 more and then 5 more and then 6 more and then 5 more. And then you finally like one, right? Now you wasted 3 tanks of gas, 3 weekends, right? You finally find a house they like. You put a contract on it. Beautiful. The inspection gets done next week. The roof's bad. The seller don't want to fix it. The buyer is not going to buy it. The deal falls apart. You got to show them 5 more houses. 6 months later, you get a deal, you close it. Okay. I teach you how to get listings. Okay. You get 6 listings in your first 60 days. If you do the system, you'll get your listings. You'll close 2 or 3 of them in the first 60 days, 90 days, right? Right now it's about 90 to 120 because it's taking a little bit longer. Sean's closing his first deal, right? So Sean has 5 listings. We have showings, things going on, but it's slow. Like things aren't going as fast. His first deal's closing on the 31st, right? Sean's not here tonight, but his first deal is closing on the 31st of April, or 30th. I'm sorry, 30th of April.
How long did it take?
30 days. To close it,
Yeah.
probably 4 months.
Okay.
It's probably about 4 months.
That's not too bad.
Yep. Now it's not his first listing though. This was the last listing he got. We listed it in January.
And it sold?
It went on the market January and it sold now. The first listing he got is still on the market. So the last listing he got is the first one to sell. You can never know. So it took 2.5 months to get it sold under contract. Now, this listing had a tenant in there that wouldn't show the property. And the tenant abandoned the property, left in the middle of the night. And I found out the property management company didn't even know. I found it. And I went and did it. And we got the property done, cleaned up. We got it on the market and I sold it. Right?
Wow.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy.
But it's just the way things go. And you got to stay consistent. You got to keep pressure on something. You got to keep pressure on what you're doing. You can't let it linger. You got to keep the pressure on getting it to closing. You got to keep the pressure on the people. If I told you everything that went on with this property management company and all the crap, like you wouldn't believe it. And there's so much crap out there. And I think, Frank, you brought that up about the bad actors and everybody's, just shortcuts and telling you what you want to hear and what you want to do. And they're taking money from people. It's just, that's the world we're in. And the minute the clients that we're dealing with know we're not those kind of people, and they know we're bringing results to the table, and that's it, right? So do you guys have any questions? Like, give me a little feedback and let me know, like, where you're at, what questions you have. And then the next thing I want to do is I want to go over like a little presentation of Pier 21 Realty, who we are and why people would want to deal with us. This is kind of the introduction when we talk to people. And this is the introduction and the concept of what you guys talk about when you're talking to people, when you're calling them, when you sit down at the restaurant and you're having a meal, people talking to you, you're conversating with them, you have a drink at the bar, people are talking to you. Oh, what do you do for a living? Oh, what do you, oh, we have a school, we have a brokerage, we this. It's a conversation. That's what we're doing when we're calling people. We're having a conversation with them. Look at my live calls on YouTube here. Go to the live channel and look at the live calls. We can do some live calls too. Maybe I can't do it this weekend, but maybe next Saturday we can do some live calls. We'll come on here just like this, and I'll share my screen and I'll start calling people.
Wow.
Just like we did. I mean, the last time I did it, I got 2 deals from one guy. The one guy, he was moving to Tennessee, so I got that deal. He had a broker here. He called me back the next day saying he wanted to fire the broker here, and he wanted me to sell the house here. The house is on the market, and I'm working on a house for Tennessee for him. 1 phone call, 2 deals. And Tanya, you were there. You were on for that, right?
Yeah, I remember.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's just talking to people, dude. It's giving people hope, inspiring them, and showing them you're the real deal. And how do you show them the real deal? I'm your broker and partner. That's why, right? I'm working with you. You're working with me. You have me in your pocket. Hey, this is my broker and partner. Hey, here's a video with 800,000 views. Here's one with 700,000 views. Here's the school I worked with. Here's the brokerage I work with. Here's what we bring to the table. Here's articles about us. Here's this, here's that, right? So you're showing them results. You're leaning on me, right? You're leaning on me. And the key is listings, right? As many listings as you can get, because listings will sell if they're priced right, right? Buyers, you could run around for a year with them. You may never find a house for them. So what do you think is more important, a listing or a buyer?
A listing.
A listing. Why? Because you have it and it's for sale.
You have the product.
Somebody wants to buy it, right? If it's priced right, it will sell. That's what happens. Matter of fact, I'm here right now. While I was here with you guys, setting up at 7:30, I had 2 showings on my listings. I'm not even there. There's other agents showing my listings while I'm here. While I was driving to New Smyrna today, doing photos, there was somebody showing my listing in Zephyr Hills. You see what I mean? I have 19 listings. That things are going on those listings. I'm not there. I'm getting more listings tomorrow. Right? There's things happening. I got offers coming in on the short sale. Right?
Question.
All that's happening while I'm here. Why wouldn't you want listings?
How do you manage your listings while also dealing with ours as well? Helping us with ours?
Because I'm a bad man.
All right, fair.
I'm a bad man. That's what I do for a living. And my son's a broker and instructor with me. He helps me with the back end.
Oh, okay. Okay.
He's on the back end. Yeah. I handle it like a champ, man. It's easy. It's systems, man. It's all systems, man. You know, you have agents out there that hire transaction coordinators and all this stuff. You don't need that. They hire them because they don't know how to do it themselves. That's the truth. That's the truth. And listen, when I have a deal and have a contract, I got the contract. I send it to the title company, the lender, and the other agent right there. I send it to my seller, the buyer, the title company right there. And then I send the title company my wiring instructions on what to do when it closes. All within 15 minutes of the contract. And at that point there, I set up the schedule. I set up the inspection. Right? Then then the appraiser comes. Right? It's a system, dude. It's a system. You know, you check the boxes.
Yeah, it's all repetitive. You've done it so many times.
It's like riding a bike.
Yeah.
I can listen, if I have an internet connection, I can go to the moon and close deals. I can sit on the moon with an internet connection and I can close deals, man. I close deals. I don't even meet the people. They're overseas. They'll buy a property here. I'll meet them like 3 months later when they come here and I have coffee with them. I talk to them just like this. Just like this. Because you know what? I know how to get a deal done. No. I know what to look for. I know how to do it. I know how to get it done. And that's what you guys have working with me. You just need to involve me into the conversation at the point of Zoom. Right? Your legwork is connect with them, position properly, inspire them, get them on the Zoom call. From the Zoom call, that's where your learning really begins.
Yeah, that's where you learn.
Your learning begins when I'm talking to them and you're absorbing what I'm saying. And if you guys go into your training, right? If you go into the drive, I have those recordings. You've seen them, right? You've seen how people, they got lied to by an agent. Remember the one for Captiva Drive? The one you were talking with Sean's on that one? Remember the one the other agents were lying to them and all this stuff, and it's all there.
Yeah. You
hear it from the people's mouths, dude. You hear it from them. And I record those meetings because I tell the people I'm going to record the meeting and I give them a copy of it. Why? Because I tell them the truth. I'm not afraid of what I say. I give them a copy of the recording so they can say, Phil, you said this, or Phil, you didn't say this, or because I copy it and give it to them. And I keep a copy for myself. Because if I have to go back and listen, if I forget something, I go back and listen. Right? But I don't mind recording what I'm telling people because I'm not lying to them. I'm telling the truth. Right? I'm not bullshitting them. So I do that and I use that for training. When I have those, I have hundreds of videos, Zoom calls, phone calls, right? Talking to people, talking to strangers, 15-minute phone call, 30-minute Zoom call, boom, it's listed. Right? And that's how I do it. And at the end of the day, everybody's treated the same way because I care about people. The money's the byproduct. You can't focus on making a commission or making the money. The money has to be the byproduct. The relationship and working with the people have to be the most important thing. At the end of the day, you got to genuinely care. And without that care, you're going to be just like everybody else. People can feel that energy. They can feel that vibe, man. You know, that some of the stuff we're going to talk about is personality types, right? Everything comes down to metaphysics. Everything's energy. Everything in the universe is energy. It comes down to metaphysics, and you either connect or you push away. Like you take two magnets, right? Plus and minus goes together. Plus and minus and minus. You can't put them together. They keep pushing away, right? We're made of the same minerals. You know, there's a periodic table, right, of all the minerals. We're all made from the same iron and magnesium, and it's all in us. The same stuff that's in the universe. We're made of it. And those things either come together or they push apart. It's metaphysics. Everything comes, that's what it is. You know, when you talk to people and some people you butt heads with and don't get along with, it's because it's a different personality type. It's a different energy. And When you understand those different personality types and different energies, you can absorb, you can change your energy to fit in with them. So if somebody's the opposite of you, you can have a conversation with them if you want to, if you talk their language, right? It's like they're talking Chinese, you're talking English. But if you want to talk Chinese to communicate with them, you can. If you don't, screw it, let it go. But if it means something to you, you have to change your demeanor and you have to speak their language. And that's how you sell. That's how you deal with people. That's how you win people over. That's how you inspire people. It's all about that communication with people. It comes down because we're all the same. Just like I said before, I can call somebody up and say, I'm Kevin. Kevin, you can say I'm Phil. What's the difference? They don't know. Right? It's perception. It's perception all the way up until the point where it comes time to deliver results. Because if you talk a good game and get up to the point where you have to deliver results and can't deliver them, what happens?
Then you don't get a sale, your reputation's bad.
You look like a fool.
Yeah, because you did all this.
You look like a fool. Yep. And then they go and tell 50 people.
That's probably the thing I'm most nervous about, which I know I said it multiple times, and you kind of explain how, we're going to figure out this problem, but finding buyers, like not finding buyers, but like, marketing,
right now it's hard.
Marketing it properly.
Right now, marketing is the situation. One of the nights here, I'm going to talk about how we market and how we advertise. I'm going to show you guys how we do that. Like each session, like tonight is an intro. Tonight, we're just kind of hitting all topics, sharing this, whatever. When we come back here on Wednesday, it's going to be all about connecting with people. Right. And then Monday, the next week is going to be all about positioning properly, who we are, what we do, why, what the reason to position properly is. Right. And then the next session is going to be about inspiring people. What can we do to show them we can get it done for them? And then delivering results. We're going to show that. And then the next session will be all about delivering results. How are we going to deliver results? This is what we do. This is the result. This is what we do. This is the result. Right. And you use those same examples. It doesn't matter if you're talking to them on the phone. It doesn't matter if you're talking to them at a restaurant. It doesn't matter if you're walking down the street talking to them. It's the same conversation, different context. Right? Same conversation, different context. So what I want to do really quick, I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to give you a little background of, who we are. And this is part of the presentation to people. So let me share my screen. I'm going to put this up here. And can you guys see that? Can you guys see the screen? Because I can only see the screen. I can't see us now.
Yeah, you can see the screen.
Cool. The first thing I do, I tell people, hey, I bring them on Zoom, like on a Zoom call, just like this. I'll say, hey, listen, I'd like to take 5 minutes to explain myself, who we are, what we do, and, just give you my background. Right. And the way I start that is, hey, look, this is our website for the school and the brokerage. And I tell them right here, there's about a 40-minute video. This is a gentleman named Todd Sachs. He has a podcast, which is a couple 100,000 viewers. And we have millions of views together on our videos. This is an interview where he actually interviews me, how I got into business, who I am, what I do, backgrounds in restaurants and everything I built. And this video is all about that. So if you want to watch it, you can take your time and, whatever. And then down here, this is the class that I teach on Zoom Live. I teach the classes to get your real estate license. We certify people for the Florida Real Estate Commission. And here's all the other classes I teach, self-paced and online. Broker courses, post-licensing, continuing education. Below that is an article that was written in the local newspaper about us. See, we have a school and a brokerage. My son, Aiden, and I, he's a broker and he's an instructor. He's 26 years old, and he works with me. And this is our location, and there's a whole story about us. And below that is a bunch of reviews. So you can come here, and you can just click load more, and there's tons and tons of reviews. And I just want to take a second and show you a couple of them. In these reviews here, you can see on the top here, there's a lot of people here. I never met them. They go on my YouTube channel. They watch my videos. It helps them pass their exam or helps them with marketing and different things in the business. And they'll just write messages on here and tell me, how I've helped them. And then I'll pull up the one I just showed you. Now that one came through on YouTube, which is a great review, I'll show them that review. And then I come down through here and I say, here's one lady that I helped. She had a house in Green Cove Springs. She watched one of my videos with Saks Realty. And if you look here, she wrote a book. There's a lot of information here. Okay. She was having trouble. She was trying to sell her house. The builder was still, Lennar Homes was still building homes in the community. They were selling the brand new homes cheaper than she bought her home for 2 years ago. She bought it as a rental property. Okay, it was a rental property. She never lived in it. She bought it as an investment. Well, the taxes went up, the insurance went up, and now she wasn't making any money. She was like breaking even or losing some money. And she was scared because she had to sell it. She owned it. She bought it for cash. Okay. Well, I was able to find a foreign buyer from Asia who bought this house. They actually paid more per square foot than they could buy the brand new one around the corner that was being built as we speak. Right? How did we do that? Well, I marketed it properly. I got it in front of them and I showed them value. They wrote a check. They bought the house for cash. They weren't even here in the country. Okay. So I got her more per square foot for a house that was 2 years old than the one across the street they were building that nobody lived in. Okay. That's one situation. You can read it all here. So I'll tell you about it. Right. Also, I have another client down here. Let me find it here. Let me see. Where is she? Right here. Elaine and Dilbeer. Elaine had her house on the market with 2 real estate agents. You can read here. Okay. She also wrote a pretty big book. Okay. You can see what happened here. So she was working with 2 different real estate agents. Okay. And the real estate agents had it listed for 3 months and 3 months. Neither one of them advertised the property properly. What do I mean by that? She had a 2.875 assumable mortgage that the buyer could take over. Okay. Now, 2.875 instead of paying 6.875 at the time was pretty good. So what happened? I put it on the market. I had 40 phone calls and I picked the buyer. We picked the buyer. This is the gentleman I represented to buy it. So she sold it. He bought it. She was in the Navy. Look at her big write-up. He was in the Marines. Look, very short and to the point. It shows you the difference of the Navy and the Marines, right? So this house here for her, I got it sold 2.5 weeks. Now she sold it for about $20,000 less than 6 months before because the market was coming down. However, this gentleman here wanted to buy a house. Okay, the house down the street was for sale. If we would have bought the house down the street for about the same price, his payment would have been $1,130 more a month than this one because at 2.875. So he called me up and said, look, I want to see this house. I took him over to see it and I put the whole deal together. So I charged her 1% less on the commission. He got the house for $1,130 less a month than any other house in the neighborhood because of the interest rate. How do you lose on that deal? Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's happy. Like, obviously, $1,100 a month every year. He's saving, $13,000 a year every year he lives in the house just on the interest rate, because the interest rate and the mortgage is the asset, not the house in that situation, right? The 2.875 mortgage is the asset he's buying, not the house. The house is just attached to it, right? You can learn to love the house. Even if you like the house, you can learn to love it to save $1,100 a month, right? But if you go through here, there's review after review after review of 5-star of people who I deal with, clients, students, other people, other agents, title companies, just everything in here. It's all together in one place. And I share this with people and I explain to them, this is who we are. This is what we do. And, down here on the bottom of the site, I have all of our communications, right? When you get your license, how to apply online, get your license, approved with the state. I have everything in here for that, right? And that's the simple website. That's what I show people. They can schedule a Zoom call with me. They come here. It comes in here. It's the video about who I am, a little bit about us. They come straight in here and they can schedule a Zoom call with me, right? And this is what we do. Seller Zoom, buyer Zoom, student Zoom, a new agent Zoom who wants to work with me. Kevin, that's what you used, right?
Yeah.
Notary. I'm a notary. I'm a online and a local notary. I don't advertise that. I'll do notary work for people I know, but I don't really advertise it. We used to do live scan fingerprints. I stopped doing that. It was just too much aggravation. So that's kind of that. And that's just a short explanation of who we are, what we do, and why we're the logical choice to work with. You know what I mean? So that's kind of that. And I went through that just a quick explanation. What do you guys think of it? Like, would you want to work with somebody that presents that to you, explains that to you, who we are? Here's examples, right? I inspired you to get there, but look at the results I delivered, right?
Yeah. I'm pretty excited to promote it as well. It's like a company. I could just say we.
Listen, I put everything I got into this business and my reputation. You know, I put everything I got into it. That's who I am. It's what I do. It's my name, you know, and I just need like people to take pride in what they're doing and just talk to people and just make deals happen. You know, guys, I don't talk about numbers to be arrogant or cocky or say, look what I did. But I mean, I'm in the next 6 weeks, I'm pulling in like almost 60 grand just in the next 6 weeks in closings.
That's crazy.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, where can you do that, dude? Where can you do that? And you know where it all started? With a phone call. It started with a phone call, or it started with somebody seeing me on a video and calling me up and say, hey, I saw your video. This is my situation. Do you think you can help me? Right?
Yeah.
Or I call somebody up out of the blue, say, listen, hey, my name's Phil. Obviously, we haven't met yet. Reason for my call is really important. Just need a moment of your time. I promise you, you'll thank me after this call. If I could, I'd be making $150,000 next week. I don't have time. I don't have time because you guys see me, Alicia, Atanya, you see me on the phone. If I talk to them, I get them. I'm 100% every time I talk to somebody, whenever we make our calls. That's how it works because it's not a sale. When I call somebody up, I'm like, listen, hey, my name's Phil. Obviously, I haven't met yet, but I promise you'll thank me after this call.
And it's free.
Yeah, it's free. There's no cost to you. I'm wasting my time. Like I'm talking to you. I give everybody a 45-minute to a 1-hour consultation, just like a lawyer, right? A lawyer gives you a consultation. Now you want to hire him, you pay a retainer fee, right? Here's my consultation. Here's who I am. Here's what I do. You want to hire me? Let's do a listing agreement. I'll have the house on the market in 24 hours. Done. It's that simple, dude. It's that simple. You know, it's all perception. It's all results. It's all, you know, getting it done. I can type up a contract and send it to you in 15 minutes, dude. I mean, I can do it right now. Want me to make one up for you? Like, I can send it right now to you. Like, it's no joke, man. Watch. Well, let me do it. It'll be fun. We'll do it live here. I want to go into the MLS here. Let me share my screen. Hold on. Now, I can't see you guys when I share my screen, so hold on a second. You guys got to talk me through it and tell me, hey, I want to buy that house. You guys can pick out a house to buy. Hold on. All right, so let me share my screen. Watch. I'm going to show you how fast it is to write up an offer. Or write up a listing. Let's do a listing. We'll pick a house and we'll just write up a listing, okay? So let's go into beaches. Let's pick like a $30 million house. Right. So let's go in here. Oh, wrong thing. Hold on. Matrix. Watch how fast it is. Right. Okay, so guys, ready? Somebody start a timer right now. Okay. Somebody start a timer.
Tell me when to start.
Start right now. Go.
Yeah.
I just logged into the MLS. Okay. Let's go in the MLS. Let's pick the most expensive house. Hold on. The MLS going slow is going to take the time. Can everybody see it? No,
Yeah.
back there. Can everybody see the screen? Okay.
Yeah.
So let's go here. Let's look at the new listings, right? Let's just get a new listing. 3,800 today. Okay, let's go here and let's go to current price. Let's get the most expensive. Okay, $38 million. Okay, Kevin, we're gonna pretend you own this, okay?
Oh my gosh, how'd you know?
So let's say this is your house, Kevin. Hey Kevin, my name's Phil. Obviously, you haven't met yet. Blah 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 blah. Okay, you want to do it? Okay, great. Okay, what I'm gonna do is right now I'm gonna type up an agreement with you, send everything over to you, and then what we can do is I'll get the agreement done. I'll call the photographer. We'll get the picture scheduled. Okay, great, wonderful. Okay, so I'm gonna come in over here and I'm gonna go and take this right here. I'm gonna go here. I gotta get the tax ID number, right? So here, watch this. Now this is the real owner, dude. It's let me see. Here, it's Mira Castle LLC. I can tell you in a second who that is. I can look it up, but give me a second here. So this is going to be the tax record. It's going to pull everything up here. Here it is right here. Right? You can actually go on Sunbiz and pull up and find out who owns the company if it's public. So anyway, we're going to go here. Now let's go. this is the listing, right? So we're going to come back. Now, normally I'll print this out and have it ready to go, but I'm just going to go right into the contract right now. So we're going to go here, and I'm going to go into my software. Now, don't get me wrong. I can do this from my phone too, guys. So we're going to come in here, and again, the loading is the longest part. I'm going to do a transaction, right? So these are all my transactions. See all that? These are all my deals that I'm working. See them all? I just keep scrolling forever. But I can go here, and I'm going to put test, right? I'm going to call it Kevin test. T-E-S-T, right? Then Kevin test. Let me make it all caps. I like all caps, guys. Kevin test, right? There it is. Okay, we're gonna import it. We're gonna take it from IMAP. It's gonna be in, where was that? Was that Broward County? Where the heck was it? New listings. What county it was in? Oh wait, right here. Jupiter. That's going to be Palm Beach, isn't it? Palm Beach. Yep, Palm Beach Gardens. Yeah. We're gonna go Palm Beach County, and we're gonna put the tax ID number in here. Watch this. Boom. We're representing the listing. No wizard. Bang. It's gonna pull all the information in. Watch this. Now, 90% of agents don't even understand what I did, dude. I'm just telling you.
There's no way.
Dude, it's sick. Every offer I get, I have to fix it. Every one, dude. There's things not checked, things not done. It's just taking forever to load. It's probably taking forever because I'm on the computer and all that stuff, the video and stuff. There it goes. Okay, so there's the property information. Now I got to put the contact in. I'm going to put you in, Kevin. So here's the company right here, right? The LLC. I'm going to pretend this is you. Now, obviously, this isn't real. So that's the company. So I'm going to put you in here, right? Kevin. Spell your last name.
R-E-I-N-A.
Okay. And give me your actually, you know what? You're in my address book already. It's okay though. I'm just gonna show you how it gets done. So you go here, and then we'll make the address same as the property. You live there, man. All right, and then give me your email address.
Kevin Reina, R-E.
KevinReina
R-E at Gmail.
@gmail.com. All right. So now you're the contact in there, right? So there you are. There's all your information. Boom. Wonderful. All right. So there's a seller. It's the company, right? Because it's the LLC. We're going to pretend you're the LLC. Obviously, this doesn't matter, right? It's not real. So that's you. Here's the listing agent. There's the brokerage, right? That's it. Okay. So we're going to come over here, and I'm going to go to the forms. And on this one here, I need to put a listing agreement. So I'm going to go exclusive right transaction broker. All right, here we go. Exclusive right transaction broker. There's no brokerage, single transaction, right there. Add it. Okay, boom. There's the agreement, right? And here comes everything, right? So there it is. Here I got to put the brokerage in. All right, we're going to come in here. Listing agreement starts tomorrow. Let's make it start the 22nd. Let's make it go to, I don't know. I'll make a date. Normally 6 months, but whatever. Doesn't matter for this. Okay, this is that. The property is not occupied. We want $37 million. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we'll take cash. We'll take conventional. Well, conventional now. It doesn't go down. But anyway, we'll take cash. No, we want cash. Okay, these boxes here, if it's an assumed mortgage, none of that, no seller. Let's say you're a seller, finance it. Okay, whatever. You'll do some financing for them. This is if you're not putting on the MLS. You know, all these boxes here, you don't have to check this unless you're not, you know, they don't want virtual websites, blah, 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 blah. Come down here. Okay, Kevin, but my commission is going to be 4%. Okay, if we do an option, it's going to be 4%. If you end up renting it out, it's going to be 1 month's rent, you know, whatever we do. I'll just make it, you know, 4% or whatever. We'll just make it all 4 just to make it whatever. Okay. And then the termination date period. This is here. We'll let that go. Broker's fee. If within termination protection period, there's no fees. I'm not going to extend the days. You come down here. Okay. Now the seller is willing to pay 2% to the seller directly, right? directly. Now, this is because of the NAR thing. This is the new rules. So this is if the broker is going to pay it, this is the seller is going to pay it, and this is if they're not offering compensation. So we're going to say the seller is going to offer 2%. We're just going to say, we're going to make numbers up here. And then here's all your information. Termination period, cancellation fee. Well, we're going to advertise the property. We're spending $10,000. If the seller wants to cancel it, they got to pay me the $10,000 back, right, for the advertising. Here's this, here's that. No additional terms. Everything's great, right? There's the information. There's the information. I'm going to send this back to you today by email, right? There's my information. There's your information. We're going to get ready to sign it. Okay. All right. There's a listing agreement. Here's the signers. I'm going to get rid of this. We're going to add the signers, add participants from the transaction. I'm going to add myself, and I'm going to add you, Kevin. Select it. Okay. You're there, I'm there. It puts them in automatically when it's like this. They're there, I'm there. You're there, I'm there.
Nice.
You're there, I'm there. They're there, they're there. There, we sign it. Okay. All right, dude. Go into your email and sign it, man. And I'm going to go into my email and sign mine.
Actually, right now? Like,
Yep, go in and sign it. Yep. I'm going to mine and sign it right now.
Feels nice
There we
owning
go.
a $38 million home.
All right. So there's my signature request. Watch this. Boom, boom, boom. Right.
The owner of this company, Mira Castle, was in trouble with the justice.
What was it?
He was in trouble with the Department of Justice. I just Googled him and just to track his name.
He's with Department of Justice?
No, he was
He
in
got
trouble
trouble?
back in 2018.
Yeah, he probably didn't pay off he probably didn't pay off the right people.
Probably so.
It's the way the world works, man.
What did you do?
All right,
You
so
searched
there's
up his
my
address?
All right, guys, look. Contract's done. There it is. Look, signed, executed. How much time did it take?
7 minutes.
There you go. There's your contract for your listing. Look, all initialed, all signed. If that was your house, I'd have it listed. Done. How about that? There it is. That's a listing agreement. That would be a valid listing agreement if you own that house. And now
That was quick.
7 minutes. That's how I can do it from my phone faster.
Maybe 30 minutes if the seller's not tech savvy, but you know.
No, I'm just saying, you see how fast?
Yeah, I know. I'm just joking.
It's in your inbox like in 6 minutes, right? That's how it works. Now I'm going to delete it here because it's not real. So.
It's not real?
It's not.
Just kidding.
Let's see. There we go. Yeah, because I mean that's just a test one, you know. But anyway, that's contracts. Like that's how simple technology has made it. Most agents can't do them properly. You know, that's a listing agreement. Now a contract for buying, you know, is different. So here's somebody here talking about an appraisal. So it's like the appraisal didn't come in today on this property. I'm just going to tell her, hello. Like, this is how I roll. Like, we just go with things. I believe they said it would be delivered on the 22nd in a status update. Now, I say I believe it, but I know it said that. I don't know. Here we go. Right, they want to close early. They're supposed to close on the 31st. They're supposed to close on the May 1st, but they want to close early, so that's what they're doing. So I just answered her real quick. But you see, like this is how things roll. Like this is how things work, right? Let me get out of here. Let me stop that. Any questions on that? Was that informative? Like, is that something
Very.
that? You know, just, hey, look real quick. Here it is. That's what we got. You know.
Yeah, no, that was nice to see it in action.
Yeah, I mean, listen, when I have the client on Zoom, just like this, I type the contract there with them. Say, here, go sign it, and we're good. Like I involve them in the process. The clients that I work with know more than most agents by the time we sell their house. It's sick. And I'm not doing anything special. I'm just walking them through, right? I'm just walking them through. Frank, is this the link, the first one or the second one?
First one is
the
the second one is the owner. The name of the
let's look at
and
it. So this is the guy. Let me pull it up. So this link here. Are you guys seeing that?
Yeah.
Real estate investor pleads guilty to rigging bids. Oh wait, are these the guys? Wait, hold on. They were rigging bids on the online. Oh my god. I don't use those sites because I always thought it was rigged. They were fixing the auctions. Listen, it's sick, right? The guy owns a $30 million house. That means he's worth probably at least $100 million, and he's rigging auctions. Why would you do that?
Right.
Like you're worth that much money. Why would you do that? That guy's going to go to jail for 100 years.
Greed, man. Greed.
I mean, why would you do that? You're getting paid on auctions anyway. Why rig them? That's crazy, dude. 2017. Look, they did it back in 2012. All this time, 12 to 15. Jesus, man. You can't do stuff like that, man. See if I know any of these names. No, I don't know this. This is the world we're in, guys. This is what I'm talking about. Just do the right thing. Treat people right at that. So that guy that owns that, they'll seize that, man. Let me see something. That's why you wonder why it's on the market. You gotta get out of that. I bet you can pick that up at a good deal. Let's look at this. Let's see if he's current on his taxes. Let's see if he's current. Let's see what's going on here. 38 million. Yeah, he has it in the company name. Well, the company's protected, right? If the LLC's protected, because they can't, unless you pierce the corporate veil, like they can't, they can't touch the LLC assets, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what we got here. No, he's current. He's current. Look how much his taxes are a year: $73,000 a year just for taxes. Let's see. Now he bought it. He bought it in 21 for 3.3. And what's he saying it's worth?
38 million.
There's something wrong there. It's saying it's only worth 5.
Yeah.
Look at all the these are all the permits. This is all the additions they did. You see that? All the permits. This is how you know if they did the permits. Look at all the permits. So look, open permits, you make sure they're down here, change contractor. You can actually see the permits. You come here, it pulls the permits up. This is how you know if there's open permits on properties. Like it's all right here, man. Like look, everything was closed out, permit was closed. See, everything's done, inspected, right? So when you're dealing with people, everything is right here. Stuff you needed weeks to do in the past is all here at your fingertips. Everything's closed out. They're issued. There's no outstanding things. It's not in a flood zone. See down here, it tells you if it's in a flood zone, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is it, dude. Like this is an example, right? I can't see it. I don't know why it's $38 million. Let's look at this here. History. Yeah, this is crazy, man. Look. Back in 07, 08, 2 million during the crash. Came back up to 3. You know what it is? It's supposed to be 3.8 or 3.6. The agent had to put an extra 0. Look at it. It's got to be. I mean, it doesn't make sense. It's 3.9, 3.8. There's an extra 0 in it. That's what you get for hiring Sirhan. Oh, man. Yeah, because look at the price all the way throughout time. Look, 21.
Yeah,
it's just an extra 0. It's just an extra 0. Look,
Yeah,
it's got to be. It's got to be. Because look, they just put it. It just went on the market. Yeah, it's a typo. Look, it just went on the market, 421 at 2:15 a.m. They're probably drunk.
2:15 a.m.
Yeah, look right here. Look, 2:15 a.m. The guy's probably drunk.
It was today, right? It was today.
Yeah, it just went on the market. Yeah,
He was just celebrating that listing.
Yeah. You have too many zeros in that, buddy. Now, if you're a seller and you're dealing with that guy and you've seen that, what would you do? What would you do?
Fire.
I mean, you don't have enough common sense to put the right amount of zeros in the price?
No.
This guy here. Let's see. Oh, he does deals. He does deals. He has 18 sales from 4.6 to 6.8, 9. He's done deals. He's done 18 deals.
What is that, all time?
All time, 18 sales in this MLS. And let's see how many listings. There's zeros listings. Yeah, so he has some listings. So he's doing business. There's no doubt about that.
Expensive business too.
Yeah.
Sirhan. It's Sirhan, yeah. He George Bush Boulevard. That's up in Palm Beach Gardens. That's right on the beach over there. Palm Beach Gardens. So yeah, the guy's doing deals. He just has a typo there. But would you want to hire somebody that does that? Write this address down. We'll check it tomorrow, or we'll check it Wednesday. Write this address down, guys. Somebody write this address down. We'll check this on. We'll see what the price is on Wednesday. little bit of a field trip there. So that's what we're going to do, guys. Before we go, let me pull something up here. I want to pull on a screen up my flow chart to business. Okay. And I'm going to show you where we're going to focus on. Okay. So right here, this was my training program I had years and years ago. I never changed the logo. I used to train agents with other companies and different things. So when you're doing real estate, there's 3 ways of bringing business in. There's right now leads. There's events that you can have, right? You can do videos, you can do different things. And then you have trickle-in leads, okay? Trickle-in leads would be stuff that you post and things you do, ads you run, right? People come once in a while, right? Events you have would be like, events like I'm doing right now here. Somebody sees this, they call me up, or I'll do an event with the pizza stuff. I'll do like a mozzarella making class. People come, they see the real estate. It brings stuff for real estate, right? The pizza business brought me 4 deals last year. I mean, it paid for the pizza business 3 times, right? Right now, leads is what we're focusing on. People that need to do business right now. Who's the best lead to do business right now?
Fired listings.
Whoever was on the market last night at midnight is no longer on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who's a hotter lead than somebody that was on the market yesterday and are not on it today?
That's why they get so many calls.
Yeah, sure. But most of the people calling are, when are you going to hire the right agent? They don't know how to, they don't own real estate themselves. The first thing you should say is, do you own real estate? Right? That's the other thing too, So, do you have, we're going to go over this in later dates, like the personal funnel, the different teams of people around you. Now, what we're going to go over in this listing, like in our boot camp, we're going to worry about right now leads. We're going to determine who they are. Who's the people? What are their hot buttons? What are their problems? What are the solutions they need? The bigger the problem, the more profitable the solution. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
The bigger the problem you solve, the more profitable the solution is, right? So we figure out what their problem is. Then we're going to learn, first thing we're going to learn is how to connect with people, how to make that human connection that's valuable. Why would they want to talk to you? Right? When people have a reason to talk to you, there's something in it for them, right? Position. How are you going to position yourself? You got to show them not only are you a nice person, a good person to know, you got to position yourself properly so they want to work with you. Well, sir, why would I work with you when I want to use Sotheby's? Well, you ever hear of Engel and Volkers? Well, Engel and Volkers wanted me to run their Brickell branch. Here's the letter, right? I'll show you that. I have the letter from them. Inspire people. Just like on the videos you guys watch, you inspire them. You show them, hey, it looks bleak. Like the lady that had her house on the market with 2 agents. Neither of them advertised the assumable mortgage. I explained it to her. I said, watch, 3 weeks we'll have it under contract. She didn't believe me. I had it under contract in 2.5 weeks. I picked what buyer I wanted. We picked them, right? Deliver results. I just did right there, right? The results. A school, a brokerage. This is what we are. This is what we do, right? Here's the results. Here's our last closings. Here's our 19 listings. Here's the 6 deals that just closed in the last 3 weeks, right? Like, who do you want to work with? Right now, nobody's doing deals. We're doing deals, right? And you leverage the success. I just showed you testimonials from people, right? The girl that doesn't know me wrote the testimonial. The lady that I just went over to 3, 4 of them. You can do the same thing. Go to this. That's our success. You're leaning on me. I'm your broker and partner. I'm your broker and I'm your partner. That's it. So if you show them who I am and what I do, why would somebody like me be a broker and a partner with somebody that doesn't know what they're doing? I'm teaching you what I know. I'm teaching you what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Right? This guy, my broker partner owns a school. We have a school. We have a brokerage. Right? Here's our videos, millions of views. Here's how many deals we close, right? You just say we instead of I. I say I, you say we. Right? You're French, I'm not, right? Like French, right? French we, right? Yeah. So you get my point?
Yeah.
You lean on me as long as you have to. And then eventually you can have the conversations with people. And you can do the Zoom calls with people. And you can set the appointments with people when you're confident enough and when you're solid enough to do it without me. You can write your own contracts as an agent. As of now, the only way you can write them is I'll write them with you to teach you, right? How else are you going to learn, right? Most agents get thrown out there and they got to learn on their own. They make a mistake, that's on them. They get sued, right? They get sued. They don't care. The broker don't care. You know?
They just want that monthly money.
That's a lot of them. It's sad that for the brokers, agents became their clients, not the customers, not the sellers and buyers. The agents became their clients to make their money. That's what's happened over the last years. And it's going to change back because a lot of them are going to get shut down. A lot of them are going to be out of business soon. So many people are quitting right now because they're not making money. I've never made more money in my life in real estate than I am now. That's a fact.
You want to know something? Today I got a call from a recruiter, and I'm not going to say the company or anything. But then she calls me, and then she was like, and I asked, like, okay, well, what are the leads? Do you guys provide leads? And then, just messing around. And then she goes, we provide leads, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay. And she was like, and we provide one-on-one coaching. You'll have your own coach. I'm like, okay, what's the coach's name? And then she was like, she told me his name. I'm not going to say his name or nothing. And then I searched his name up. He hasn't had a deal in like a year or something like that.
What do most teachers do? They teach because they can't do. That's the craziest thing.
I think he had 1 or 2 though. It wasn't 0, but I was like, oh, okay, well.
Probably his brother and his mom. But the point I'm trying to make is there you go. See, the recruiters, you're going to get calls. I'll tell you why. I worked for Keller Williams when I first started. One deal I did with them, and they had an issue with a commission where they didn't pay me the right amount.
Yeah.
But anyway, I led recruiting for them, and I would get a piece. Like if I recruited you, you would get a bonus for recruiting them, and then every deal they did throughout history, you would get a little piece of it for being their upline, like their upline person. So my picture is still hanging on their wall in Boca Raton because no one's beaten my recruiting numbers.
Really? How long ago was that?
Oh, dude, this is like what, 2004? 2004.
Maybe. The lady today, I was like, can I call you back? She's like, yeah, go ahead. Like, oh, okay. She didn't even try to stop me.
Ask him, dude. Like just talk to them, see what they do, what kind of training, how many deals, how many deals have you closed in the last year? What's your office closing ratio? Ask them, because that's what you got to find out. And it's crazy because they'll pitch you, because you got to understand these big brokers, they have to have agent count. What that means is they have to have so many people. Let me pull this off the screen.
Pay the bills.
They have to have so many people to cover the overhead, right? So if they have an office staff, they have a president, vice president, they got salaries to pay, right? So they know, hey, we need 125 agents at all times to break even. That's not counting deals, because these big brokers, they're not making a lot of money. You know, they might be getting 10%, 5%. Some of them get a flat fee, right? The agents are making the money, right? So if they make a $10,000 commission, the brokerage might get $1,000 or $2,000, right? So they're not making a ton of money in the deals. The agents are making the money. It's always been that way, right? So the brokerages have these big fancy offices. They all want to drive Corvettes. You know, they're all big shots. Yeah. So they want to have all this stuff, and the agent count. You know, they're 5 agents away from bankruptcy if they lose 5 agents. You know, and that I hate to say it, but it's the truth, dude.
That's
it's the truth. It's the truth, and it's sad. You know, but it's the industry. The industry as a whole has a lot of problems. The whole NAR lawsuit.
Yeah.
They're not sticking up for us. There's more lawsuits coming. DOJ is coming back about the brokers still paying with the other form that I don't use. I use the one seller directly to the broker, not through the seller broker anymore, because that's what they don't like as antitrust. There's a lot happening. Right now, there's a bill to get rid of the Florida Real Estate Commission because they're not happy with what the Real Estate Commission is doing. They want to have a different department regulate it. There's a bill in the Senate right now that here in Florida.
I haven't even heard of that. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yep. They're thinking about dismantling the Real Estate Commission. Yep. They're not happy with it. I don't even know all the details to it, but I know they're talking about it.
I'm gonna search that up. I want to see.
Yep. It's interesting. I mean, they should be regulating it harder than they are now. I mean, it's crazy, man. Every day 6 things happen that people should lose licenses for just with me. I mean, I can't imagine what's going on out there.
Oh man.
Just the stuff with people, man. But so you guys have any questions? Any feedback or questions, like the layout of how we're going to do this? Now, Wednesday when we come back, we're going to start with connecting. What I want you guys to do is have your talking points and have that ready to go, like in front of you. The public doesn't have those, right? So the public, they're going to hear us talking, but they don't have, like, that's our proprietary stuff. So it's not something that goes publicly. Not that they can use it, because it's not, they don't do what I do. They don't have the school, like they don't have my business. But what I do for people who aren't with my brokerage, I teach them how to write their own scripts, their own talking points designed around their life, right? So somebody was in the technology field for 10 years and now they're in real estate. Their talking points are going to talk about their successes in the technology business, how they're going to use those successes in real estate, how the wins they had there will help people here, right? So I teach people how to take their background and write their own scripts to position properly with people, because anybody can take their experiences and position properly. It's just who can do it better and who's stronger, right? So if you're hungry and you want to do this business, you can learn your own script. You can make your own talking points. Like I made mine, and then I give them to you to lean on me to get them to the appointment to close the deals, right? Eventually, when you're talking to people, you're going to say your own things. You don't have to always say the school, the brokers, this, that, the other thing. You're just doing that in the beginning until you build your own way of doing things.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. You can use it forever if it works for you, but there's nothing wrong there. You're working with me. It's whatever, you know. But the key of it is to be able to communicate it properly, clearly, and win people over. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
So, any feedback, guys? Any questions or thoughts before we jump out of here?
No rush or anything. When do you think we would start cold calling? Will we do it live on a YouTube video with you?
No, I won't start you guys off doing it live like you guys, but I'll do them live if you guys want to do them like that here. But what I'll do is we can jump on Zoom together. Like I would say probably by Wednesday we're going to do it. If you want to start making calls like Friday,
This Friday?
If you want to start making calls Friday, Saturday, what I'll do is I'll jump on Zoom with you.
Yeah, okay.
If you want to, if anybody wants to jump on Zoom, we can jump on together, or I'll go one-on-one with you guys, and I'll coach you through the calls. Like I'll let you make them, and then I'll critique and show you how to do them, and then maybe I'll do one. We'll go back and forth.
Okay,
talking
that'd
to
be
people.
nice. That'd be nice.
And that's how I can teach you. Yeah, we can go back and forth. I'll do one, you do one. I'll do one, you do one. I'll do one, you do one. You know, until we get appointments. I'm okay with that. I gotta look. You know what? Hold on. Let me see. I gotta do something. Friday. Hold on.
Before you get my hopes up, man.
Yeah, no. We can do it. I mean, I don't think Friday I can do. Hold on. Yeah, no. Friday I'm jammed up. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Can do. You're working mornings, right?
No, I'm off weekends.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm working mornings.
Well, we could do. You want to do Saturday afternoon, like 1:00?
Yeah.
All right. I'll send you over a Zoom link. I'll send it out to everybody, whoever wants to come.
Okay.
I'll set it up for Saturday at 1:00. I'll do it tonight.
Is this going to be live, Phil, or just like us in Zoom?
No, this will just be us in Zoom, and I'll record it.
Okay, cool.
It'll be us in Zoom, and I'll record it.
I don't want to be embarrassed in front of the live.
Awesome. So this Saturday.
The first calls I used to make, I think I told the other guys this. The first calls I'd make, I hung up on the people because I would screw up. Before. So I hang up on it like, screw it.
No, you did. Oh my God.
You say the wrong thing, you're like, shit. Like, they're not gonna know who I am. They're gonna talk to them again.
That's funny.
Listen, dude, I hate making calls. To this day, I hate calling people I don't know. It's not natural. But after I call somebody and I get a deal and I realize I'm helping them, it's like, what the hell's wrong with me? I should want to do this all day.
Yeah, it's sales.
You know, it's not human nature to call and bother people, right? It's not nature. It's like, but when you call them, for the ones that don't talk to you, for the ones that do, and you start building relationships with people, it's like, man, if I didn't talk to that person, I wouldn't have gotten that deal. I wouldn't know them. Like, you know what I mean? It builds on things. It builds on top of each other, right? There's relationships I have with clients that I actually called them. I have a video. I played it for some of you guys. One of my first deals, long time ago in Fort Lauderdale, the guy actually hung up on me, and I called him back. And I've met people through him, and I've probably closed a couple $1 million in deals for them over the time, you know. But I would have never had this relationship if I didn't call that guy back, you know.
Did you call him back right away?
Yeah, I said, listen. I said, excuse me, so you hang up on me? He was laughing. He's like, yeah. He's like, I don't really want to talk about this. I said, listen, if you want to learn how to play basketball, and Michael Jordan called you, would you talk to him? He goes, yeah, of course. I go, listen, give me 5 minutes. I'm the Michael Jordan of real estate, and hear me out. He started laughing. He goes, okay, let me hear you out. Boom, done. He called me back the next day. I was at his house. I signed a listing agreement in his house. I'll play the video for you guys. It's on YouTube. It's on my YouTube. I used to have a podcast like 15, 16 years ago in Hollywood, Florida. It was a podcast, like radio thing. And it was, we used to cook food and talk about real estate. So it's actually one of those videos from like a long time ago.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it all starts with that call, dude. It all starts with that connection with somebody just to win them over. But you got to talk to them just like I'm talking to you now. You can't call them up as if you want to sell something. You can't call them up, hey, my name is Phil. I don't know what to do. You know, you can't, like, everybody else is doing that. And you take them on a roller coaster ride. Hey, Kevin, pause. My name's Phil. Obviously, we haven't met yet. Pause. Listen, this call is really important. I promise you'll thank me after I speak to you. You see, it's like hey, Kevin.
Yeah.
Don't say nothing. Let him think, who the hell is this? Listen, my name's Phil. Obviously, we haven't met yet. Reason for my call is really important. Stop. He's Phil. Ooh, important call. You follow what I'm saying? Like it's like a roller coaster ride. You know that because you're doing cold calls.
Yeah.
You're trying to break that. Yeah. It's tonality.
When I'm like, my problem is the more calls I take, the more monotone I get, and I'm just like, hey, hey, Phil. My name's Kevin. The reason I'm calling, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh wait, I can't do that.
You got to get up. You got to walk around. You got to move. You got to move, walk around. Yeah, you can't.
Alicia
Every
and
call.
Tanya, have you guys taken calls? If you don't mind me asking.
I've made
Yeah.
Go
Go
ahead,
ahead,
Alicia.
Tanya. No, you can go first.
I've made calls. I have made calls. I haven't been consistent with it. I'll be honest with you. Taking calls, not really, but I have made calls.
Okay.
Yeah,
You get a lot of
Tanya's an
voicemail.
educator. Tanya's an educator, so she works full time too. So it's a little bit of a schedule thing too.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got a lot of voicemails. Is that what you mean?
No, I've made calls. Actual making calls. Some pickups. My issue, I think, is how to come back and respond to live sellers on the line. You know, the barriers they put up. But again, I have made calls.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Alicia, how you doing?
Yeah, I mean, I'm doing good. I'll be honest, since my transition, because I think I said it a little bit early on, since I left my job, I've been doing a lot of Uber Eats and a lot of like catering gigs. So it's been kind of hard to kind of make ends meet to kind of make a good, oh my God, sorry. There's one of those palmetto bugs like on my ceiling, and that's why I ran
It's
away
flying.
earlier.
It's
No,
flying.
it's like on my ceiling. Oh my God. I'm like,
Yeah.
and we're live. This is
It's
horrible.
Florida.
And now it's back on the ceiling. Oh my, and I hate
It's
them.
Florida.
So if I run away
It's Florida.
screaming, that's why. But yeah, no, I have made calls, but like I just been having trouble honestly showing up for myself. It's just really more personal in my personal life, and I just have to like get over that and just, keep showing up for myself. But the calls I have made, I have had great conversations. I actually had, oh my God, it's cleaning itself. I have had people
like that.
I'm like freaking out. I'm sorry. It's like on my ceiling, like right above me. So yeah, I have made calls. The people I have talked to, like I actually did get an appointment, and then the guy just kind of like didn't show up, and then he like stopped answering me, and then wouldn't answer any of my calls. It was just, people are weird. It's just how
I get it
people
every
are,
day, man.
the way
And
the world
you understand?
works. Yeah.
The
So
thing is too, the people I call Lisa too sometimes, like they're just flakes. They don't realize that they're talking to somebody that really knows what they're doing, and they just, the one you gotta understand, you're gonna make 1,000 calls, you're gonna talk to 5 people, 10 people. It's just the ones you talk to or the ones you get to work with. It's like, and the better you get at it, the easier it is. Like when you guys see me calling and I get them right away, it's because it's what I do for a living. Like I've made millions of dollars like this. You know what I mean? Just talking to people, putting deals together, making things happen, getting things squared away. I've been doing this like forever, and it's everything. It's not just real estate. In my bar business, in my restaurants, I just talk to people the same way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it just, you have to be able to communicate. It's all communication.
It's just part of
It's communication and 5 pieces of paper to list a property. like literally, you just saw it. I just did it in 7 minutes, 6 minutes, right? I could be at a bar right now having a drink with somebody. The bartender can say, "Hey, I want to sell my house." I can get my phone out and send the contract to them to sign. No shit. You know what I mean? Like it's that simple. You just got to know what to say, how to do it, how to handle it, and do the process. You know what I mean? It's that simple. Yeah. And the one thing I always tell people before we go, the analogy I use is like, it's all in the communication. It's all in the script, in the talking points. Like Tanya mentioned that she didn't know how to come back, right? If somebody says something. Well, the talking points, like you say something, say section 1, they'll say something. Agree with them. The sky's green. Okay, yeah. Go to section 2. Oh, I'm not selling. Blah, 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 blah. You're saying if I get a buyer and they bring you a check for the amount you want, you're not going to sell? Because I work with buyers that are international, 140 countries, 18 different languages. And I have buyers who are buying properties here to invest their money because of the inflation situation in the world. They need an asset where they can put their money and ride it out. Would you have a problem if somebody from Europe wanted to buy your house and write you a check? Now they went from I'm not wanting to sell their house to what happened?
Because that makes them think. I was like, whoa.
Yeah. No one else told them that.
Yeah.
Well, sir, I just closed 3 deals where I didn't even meet the buyers. They're in another country and they bought the houses. Want me to send you the addresses? Why can't I do that for your house? I could.
And our listings are going to be marketed the same way, right? Of course.
Every listing goes in the same system and the same platforms that I do. Everyone. I don't care if it's 50,000 or 3 million. It's a system. Everything I do is a system, man. My pizza business is a system. Everything's a system. It doesn't matter if the pizza business is slow or busy. Those still made the same days. Nothing changes. It's a system.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Everything, it's a system, because consistency is how you make money. Consistency.
Yeah.
Water running over a rock will wear the rock down, right? Consistency. It's consistency. Everything. Being successful is consistency. Getting up and doing the same thing, working, making it happen. Don't matter if you have $10 million or $5. Consistency. Do the same thing. Do the same thing. You know?
Yeah.
That's all it is, dude. You know, and I always use the analogy, Johnny Depp, right? Johnny Depp, being Johnny Depp, is drunk in a bar, right? April Heard's beating him up, right? That's Johnny Depp, right? Johnny Depp, having talking points and a script, makes $300 million a year for Disney as a pirate. See the difference? Be the script, be the talking points. Why? I'm living proof that they work, right? I've made a living. I've built wealth off of them. It took me 25 years to build this, what I do. The system I do every day is 25 years of building what I built. And I'm imparting that to you guys. How? I'm showing you the first 3 steps, how to connect, position, and inspire. Once you get them on that Zoom call, I'm going to deliver the results, and then you guys are eventually going to be able to deliver the results. But you got to do that first 3 steps. You got to connect, you got to position, you got to inspire, and you got to get them on that Zoom call. And from there, the rest of it I can do with you. Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And that's what it comes down to. And it doesn't matter if it's on a Zoom or on a phone call. It could be somebody you work with. It could be the mailman that comes to your house every day. Hey, how long you been a mailman? You like working for the post office? Oh, okay. Oh, well, I do this for a living. I've been in real estate. We have a real estate school and a brokerage. You ever know anybody wanting to get their license? That's a conversation. No, but I was thinking about selling a house, or my sister's buying a house, right? Who's the best person to talk to? A mailman. They know everybody. They know everybody, man. You know, when I first started out, I used to make flyers, and I didn't want to spend a lot of money. I talked to the mailmen, the people I knew. I gave them the flyers. I said, hey, throw this in there with that. I don't know if they did. I don't know if they're supposed to. It probably is wrong, but I did it. Can you throw this in some of the things? Yeah, okay. You know, I didn't give a shit. I had to make money. I was doing business, right?
Yeah, that's funny.
You know, whatever, man. Like, whatever you got to do. You know, it's like, but it's all communication. It's all from a phone call. It's all from look, if I sat in my office or I stayed home and didn't do anything, would I have any deals? Every deal I have came from something I did. Nothing just walked in my door. I can go through every listing. This came from a Saks video. This came from a cold call. This came from a referral. This came from something. This came from something I'm involved in. This came from this. Every deal I have came from an action I did first. If I wouldn't have done any of those actions, I'd have no deals. So I'm no better than anybody. I just take actions and I do things and I communicate. There's no difference between me and you. The only difference is what I do when I wake up in the morning to when I go to bed.
Yeah, you're just working
It's
hard.
different than what you do. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
I make deals. So the only difference is what I'm doing. I'm not special. I just know how to talk to people, and I've been doing this all my life. There's nothing special about me. You know, I'm a human being, but we're all the same. It's just how you communicate with other human beings. It's paperwork and communication. That's all it is. I just showed you the paper. It's 5 pages of paper and a conversation. That's all it is. It could be for 100 million or 100,000. It's the same paper, right? It's the same paper. It's just the communication that you have to have with the people. It really is that simple. You know, but without that communication, nothing's happened. If I say the next week I'm not calling nobody, I'm not talking to nobody, am I going to have any deals? Nothing, right? The week I went to Pennsylvania, I had my laptop with me, and I'm doing all my work and catching up. I came back, I had nothing going on. I was bored. I had to start making calls to get things going because I did a week of downtime. I was still working on my deals, getting them closed, getting appraisals done, but I had no new business because I wasn't here. I was unplugged, you know. And I came back and I was just like you guys. I had nothing. I'm like, okay, I got to get more deals. Get on the phone, talk to people, go do something, right? I want to buy something, I get on the phone. I want to vet, I'll get on the phone. I need some. I know if I want a Corvette, I got to go do 3 deals, right? 3 deals. I want a Corvette, I'll get 3 deals. I want this, I'll go get 2 deals. I want this, I get 1 deal. That's how I live. Like I just got to work hard. I want something, okay, I got to get 3 deals. You know what I mean? That's what you have to do. Everything to me is a deal. You know, I'm buying another bar. I'm in the process now of buying another bar in a restaurant by a college town. I know how many deals I need to make that bar work. Right? I'm in the process of doing it right now as we speak. You know? I expand. I don't care what people think. I don't care what people say. I don't want their opinion. I know what I'm doing. I don't need opinions.
Yeah.
You know what they say about opinions? Everybody has one. They have something else too. You know? But that's kind of, you just got to take chances. You got to make things work. And you got to be confident that you're not going to, like, I'm not going to fail. I look at numbers. I look at stats. I look at facts. And I know who I am, what I bring to the table. I'm not going to fail. I just got to work harder to get what I want done. And that's what people have to do. If you guys all focus and say, I'm doing this until I get a deal. If you guys get on the phone with me Saturday and don't get off the phone until you get a deal, then you're going to get a deal?
Yeah.
You're going to stay on that phone until you get a deal. You know?
Yeah.
And then if you don't, you're going to go on the phone Sunday. I'm going to stay on this phone until I get a deal. Right? You stay on the phone until you get a deal. You'll get one. Look at all the idiots that get them. Look at all the idiots out there that don't know how to do a listing. And they got them. Why? Because they can talk. They can bullshit. You're not bullshitting. You're telling them the truth. And you're going to bring results to them that no one else can, because I do it every day. But I'm saying, that's the commitment you got to make to yourself. See, the commitment I make to myself is I'm not going to stop until I get where I'm going. Either I get where I'm going or I die. There's no in between. And that's just, I've been like that since I was 12. Since my parents got divorced and my dad left and I had nothing, I woke up in the morning and I said, screw this. I said, I'm going to do whatever I got to do to get where I'm going. From the time I was 12 years old, I haven't stopped. I can stop right now. I don't have to work. I can stop right now and never work a day again in my life. But I can't, because I don't know how else to do. I just got to keep going to build and better and do better things. And I want to help people succeed at what I do. I want to help you guys succeed at what I do. And anybody else that wants to get into this business, I want to help them succeed to get what they want to do, you know?
Yeah.
And if I can make money with them, that's the goal. The goal is to build yourself better financially, spiritually, emotionally, socially, right? It's always to become better. That's all we got. We got some time on this earth and then we go away and everybody forgets us, right? That's what happens. Nobody's 25 years after I'm dead, nobody's going to know who I am. They might look at YouTube and see me. I don't know. You know what's going to happen, you know? But that's all you got. You get the time you're here. You can impact as many people as you can, and that's it. So I look at clients as a legacy that I'm leaving, that people I've helped that talk about me. Because one day I'm going to be dead, but maybe their kids have a house because I put a deal together for them. You know, the kids inherited a house that they had because I put a deal together for them. You know what I'm saying? Because the things like that. I want to affect people so it improves them. And that's what you're supposed to leave in this world, you know? And that's it. It's really that simple. You know, leave things and help people as much as you can. And the bigger the problems are that you solve, the more money you'll make to live and to leave your family. There's one thing I can tell you, you know, at my brother's funeral, dude, there were people there. I couldn't believe the amount of people and that knew him, and because he was good to everybody. And I just looked around and I'm like, man, you know, there were people there. There were bums that didn't have a house that he used to give $20 to in food because the bar, he used to feed them. When they didn't have food, they would come and he'd give them money. He'd give them food. He'd give everybody $20. He didn't care. Like the bums would come to the bar. My other brothers would get out of here. My brother tell you would feed them, give them food. Like, you know, most people avoid that. They don't want to do that, right? But he dealt with people like that, and he had people who own office buildings in the same line together, coming in one after another, like to the wake. And I'm looking around now, and I just reevaluate a lot of things. I'm like, this is what life's about. It's not always about money. It's not always about doing things that have to be like a positive. Like, you like a positive in your pocket. You have to be able to contribute to people. The more you contribute to people, the better things are going to be for you. Because at the end of the day, you don't take shit with you, right? Nothing goes with you. So the point of that is, you know, it was like a realignment for me. I really, a lot of things like real quick, like realigned for me. It's weird. It was weird. It was like a chiropractic visit that resets your body, but it was more like a spiritual, like a emotional thing. That was
like a spiritual awakening, kind of.
Yeah, it was like a chiropractic adjustment for my experience, I guess. Yeah. So it made me realize a lot of things that, you know, a lot of things I looked at maybe weren't a correct way, and it just opened my eyes to some stuff, you know. But that's what it's about. It's not always about money. Now, money, you need money. Money is important, right? We all do things so we can make a good living and give our kids things and help our family and buy things and have houses and live a good life. Money's needed. It's a tool, but it's not everything, man. You know, like for me, I like expanding. I like succeeding. I like building things, buying another bar or restaurant, giving 25 people a job. You know what I mean? Let them like make a living and support their family through a business I built, right? And then I can make more money for my family by having that business. So it's just, you know, real estate's one way, restaurants another way, you know, bars are another way. You know, it's just pizza's another way. It's just to keep expanding and giving more to people, and then more comes back. And when you're calling people, that's the mindset you have to have. Like when I call somebody up, I put myself in their shoes. And when I have empathy for them, and I say, okay, what would I need if I was this? They tell me something. What would I want to hear if I was them? And that's how I communicate with people. I just put myself in their shoes. And that's why, if you notice, when I call people up, I just disc profile, first of all. I figure out what they are. And then I speak to them as if I think I know how they want to be, how I would want to be spoken to in that case. Right? Remember the one call I played for you guys? Where the lady that I did the 2.875 mortgage for. She's like, "Oh, I have an agent." I'm like, "Well, did you sign anything with them yet?" No. I'm like, "Are you open? Are you open to hear what I have to say? Would you consider, you know, listening to what I have to say?" She goes, "Yes." That was it. Boom. Got her on a Zoom call. Closed the deal. Most agents would have hung the phone up right there. "Oh, you have an agent? Okay." You know what I mean? Like they don't push that extra, right? So, but yeah. So anything else? Any questions? It's just about 10, so we should jump out and we'll get back here on Wednesday to start with the connecting.
All
but,
right. Sounds good.
I don't want to ramble on, but everybody good? Like everybody?
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. All right. So yeah, Wednesday night we'll do 8:00, and we're gonna start with the connecting. We're
Okay.
gonna start with the connecting portion, the initial part of the call, reaching them, who they are, what they're doing. Okay.
Okay.
Sounds like a plan.
All right, guys. Really
Have a
awesome.
good night,
Okay, so
everybody.
have a good night, and
Yes.
hang on here a second, guys. We're gonna end the stream, and we'll be good in a second.
All right.